that behind me is the Tynemouth Castle and Priory. Now, I want to go back in there. Now, I've done a little bit of research. You know what I'm like with my my Scottish history. But in there is 3 kings. So there's 2 Northumbrian kings, and Malcolm III of Scotland is buried in there.
Hello, Cartoon Callum here. I just wanted to let you know that the real world Callum was pretty upset about this video. A lot of footage was lost, and he didn't really understand why. And he's been working really hard to get some sort of video together. He told me that he's had so much fun learning loads of new things, and he's even letting me have a bit of a forward roll. Well, not really a roll because he doesn't know how to do that yet, but maybe in the future. But I'm here to tell you, please remember, subscribe, share, and enjoy this video. So for me in Cartoon Land, to Callum in Tynemouth. Bye-bye.
So if you'd watched my last couple of videos, you knew that I was here in the northeast, and we came here a couple of days ago and saw this from the car park across the way. We're supposed to be going home today, but I thought I'd stay an extra couple of hours and come and check this place out. So come on, join me and we'll have a wander around. Well, it's good from down there.
I know we always say that wherever I go is like my new favourite place, but I really like it up here.
Getting in has been amazing. Everyone's been friendly. I know we say that. I don't know why we're surprised everyone's friendly, because we are a friendly bunch. But we're the only ones here. Oh no, I've just seen 2 people. I thought we were going to get locked up. Unfortunately, part of this is blocked off because we're expecting work. But I don't mind because, wow. And it's all flat-ish and good walking space. I think it's going to be one of those days where we just explore. How accessible is this place? Well, there was a great path leading right through the centre of the site, but some of it wasn't exactly wheelchair friendly due to the nature of the area. The shop has a great lift and there's a lot of flat areas, but the gatehouse and the fortifications is sadly a no-go. There is toilets on the site, which is always a plus, but sadly parking is a way off the entrance, and you do have to cross over a road at a crossing to get close. An absolutely fantastic place to come. I really recommend coming, but unfortunately it's not the best accessible place. We've just done a tour and there's just been 3 of us that was on it and the tour guide. It was amazing. The guy was so knowledgeable and he's so passionate, not only about this place but about the area, and I love that. I love people who are passionate about what they do. This place has got so much history. A 1,000-year-old chapel behind us, World War I, World War II, army barracks, and even a 1960s old building there that had the lifeboats in it, and that had loads of technical things about all the information for lifeguards. That's actually closed down now, and it's moved over to Bridlington, which I've been told is about an hour and a half drive south. So yeah, it's just incredible. One thing that I found out, so don't always listen to Wikipedia, and what happened was I had read about Malcolm III of Scotland. Malcolm III, also known as Malcolm Canmore, was the King of Scotland from 1058 until his death at the Battle of Alnwick in 1093, roughly 30 miles to the north. He played a pivotal role in Scottish history, especially in the context of the famous events depicted in Shakespeare's Macbeth. While the historical Malcolm III was a significant figure in history, like many great artists, Shakespeare created his own interpretation of Malcolm Canmore, a blend of fact, drama, and his overarching theme of moral redemption. He was supposedly here, there's some writing that he was, but then he's been moved back to Scotland and his body's been back and he's in Dunfermline Abbey or Dunfermline somewhere. So yeah, he was here at one point, but I'm kind of interested about him anyway, because you might have thought, who's that guy? Malcolm III, if you know your Shakespeare, Macbeth, he was the Malcolm from the Macbeth. So yeah, really interesting, but it's such a beautiful view. It is amazing even to be here. And that's not just talking about the history, that I'll have a wander around as well. You've got the North Sea right here, you've got a cargo ship coming out as well. It is amazing. So we're going to have another look around. Seen better from the sky, this priory has an exceptional story. This light blue box shows the size of the actual church, first built in the 7th century. Gigantic and a splendid building that would have been the marvel of its day. The purple box shows the size of the priory, housing a total of 18 monks all year round. The red area is the extensive graveyard, though we were told that when the army moved in, some of the graves were all moved around. Finally, this yellow box was the entrance to the walled fortification, with the wall outside. After becoming a military base in the 1540s, plans were made for 400 temporary soldiers, and later up to 1,000 workmen were on site for the fortifications. Much of the priory was either left abandoned or purposely demolished, including this part that was demolished for a pub to help keep soldiers' morale up. There's also World War I and World War II fortifications. This was an impressive site with over 1,000 years of history. This gun was the 6-inch gun now. This was used in the wars to fire at ships in the North Sea. And apparently it could go for 7 miles out into the sea. Now, a couple of little issues about it. It is not actually one that was here. This is the same size, the same shells that would be taken off, but it was from an old gunship, and it was, I think, 2 or 3 marks after the ones that were here, but pretty close replica. What is incredible about this monastery, for me anyway, is it's not the only history that is here. So after Henry VIII decided to get rid of all of the monasteries and the Catholic monasteries, he realised how important it was as a strategic site. It's right on the edge of the River Tyne, and it's probably one of the most important places along the northeast coast. So what he decided to do was build a military place, and that military place went all the way up to, I think it was the 50s, the guy was saying. So all the way through World War I, World War II, and one thing that is going across my mind is they actually knocked down, the British military knocked down part of the monastery, and the reason why they did that was to build a pub. They built all the things as well because there was about 200 men stationed here, but they did knock a lot down, so I'm kind of sad about that. But World War One, World War Two needs must, and they needed to have a space where you could easily put places in and have this military base here. So yeah, I can understand it, but it's still sad. This room was called the lying down shelter, and the reason why it's called the lying down shelter is because we are on the coast of the North Sea, and if anyone has been here, they know how treacherous this can be in storms and in the winter. And if you were on shift, you had to be close to the gun at all times. So you could come in here, you'd lie down and shelter, but you were only a moment away from the guns. Down below the guns, there is this room, and it was split into two, and this is where all the shells were kept, but to keep them from not exploding, because there was a lot of really explosive rooms. It was split into two parts. This area in the middle is called the clean area, and people coming through here had to change out the army gear and put on these clothing. None of it had metal in it because they didn't want anything to spark and set these ammunition off. So the two parts of the gun, of the bullets, were sent out of these rooms, sent up, put together, and that's when they were put in the firing cannons and sent off. But the thing is, that only these lanterns that is blocked off by the windows, that was the only way they could get light in here, so it would have been really dark and really eerie. Oh, scary stuff. Now we were told that there was only ever practice firing and test fires, and no cannon was sent off in anger. But still would have been scary to hear that cannon going off from here, knowing right above you the cannons were firing up to 7 miles into the North Sea. This was a lighthouse building, and up until last year it was owned by the Crown, and the Crown says, hey, do you want this building to the English heritage? I think that actually means that, hey, we don't want to pay for it anymore, why don't you have it? But the English heritage said, yeah, sure, we'll take it on. And there is talks about changing it into a cafe, so hopefully if you can come back next year, you might be able to have a coffee. Something that I could do with right now. Really fascinating, isn't it?
It's absolutely superb. I love it here.
I love the way that, as I said before, you've got 1,000-year-old chapel,
Yeah.
or abbey, and then you've got all the World War One, World War Two things, and then you've got the lifeboats as well.
Yeah. There's everything. A bit of everything that's part of our history.
Windy though, isn't it?
It's bloody windy.
So one thing that the tour guide told us was when the military was here, they had to move some of these graves, and they just put them back where they thought they were. And they're not entirely sure if they're all quite where they should be. Well, at least the name is here for anyone to see. Oh, I absolutely love blue plaques. That one was saying back in 1664 there was a lighthouse built on this spot, and it was made from stone from the priory. That's pretty cool to think in a lighthouse. Again, they're using stuff from things that should be kept, I don't know, but still pretty awesome. They think that in 1664, when that was built, that it was probably replacing an even older light, and that was eventually taken down in the 80s, and we have what is there and added onto today. Just think about the history that would have been in the barracks behind us, all gone now, and not a trace left.
It was August the 31st, I always remember, and a small Dutch coasting vessel. It was going down south to London or somewhere.
Well, what an amazing experience that was. That was really good. Thousands of years experience pretty much. It was incredible. I am very tired now, but I'm glad we stayed those extra couple of hours to go and have a wander around there. Oh, it was amazing. The guide that took us round, so much information. It was beautiful, and just the view was incredible. I'd really recommend coming here, even if you can only spend a couple of hours. It has got loads to keep you occupied, it really has. But that's it for this little trip to the northeast. It's been a hell of a week. I'm very tired, but I'll go back now, edit some videos, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.